Sorry, we're a little on the tardy, so.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Hi Frank.
Good evening.
How's it going?
Good, you?
Not too bad. Got your email switched to.
Okay, I was getting the shirts, getting them both, but I guess charter fund. I was charter on more anyways.
Yeah. I think that might have been. It was an email there, maybe?
Well, I got it last time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was thinking of it, yeah.
Yep. At least we have a quorum. At least we have a quorum, there's 6 instead of 5. What's that?
Secretary's thing.
We just have to vote for something, yeah.
What is that?
Christine, I'm just gonna read it for you again if you don't care.
That's fine. I'm good.
I just have it in my hand, that's how it's on.
Sure.
So we're gonna call this meeting to order at 7:03. I'm gonna read the secretary's report. So last month we reviewed the minutes from October of 24. Matt made the motion to accept the meeting as read. Scott seconded. Treasury report, I gave a summary and we will furnish that upon request, if anybody would like it. Trail master report, again, this is all old, from October. At the end of last year, we closed all the gates. There's an issue with people coming out by Shaw's. We suggested putting up flagging. We discussed putting a gate by Shaw's that did not need to make, we needed to make sure it wouldn't hinder the walkers or the bikers, but would stop ATV traffic. Lancaster annual state mandated meeting. We spoke with Clint and Craig in Lancaster, we meeting Matt and I. For the annual state mandated meeting to go over what everyone's doing, the meeting went well. We're working on a wish list for grant and aid, applications are due May 4th. We should discuss bigger gates, being widened, as soon as, what we would look at was the snowmobile gates being open. They didn't say yes or no at the time. Currently, we have 42 gates total on our trail system, and we identified 16 that we should be closed. And the others, we suggested to leave them open on a trial. Last year, when he asked the state about opening some of the gates, there was a hard no. When we asked this year, they took it under advisement. We will follow up before the season opens. Their concerns were issues with trash being dumped. Our argument was gates are not a requirement of any RSA. We offered to sign each gate with OHRV widths only. At this point, the trail, or at that point, the trails to open by May 23rd was Hammerland, Augie's Scenic Bypass, and both loops, depending on conditions. Scott made a note on the Hammerland access. He got permission to reopen the snowmobile trail from Mount Eustis, so we're probably putting up signs. And or a barricade and an industrial drive, so forward won't go up in there. Because it to get shut down then. That got, we'll get together to put up a temporary gate. Old business is still waiting to purchase a flail mower. We tabled the opening a savings account or another savings account. Augie's roof is, and the sign is done. We purchased a side-by-side. The trunk or treat was better than ever. We had no candy left. We paid for the rest of the gravel for the rail trail resurfacing. When Chief is ready, we're first on their list. We may not put in as much this year to do the other work needed. Mary Ann stated, the surfacing work done so far has been a huge improvement. New business grant and aid. I attended the Haverhill Select Board meeting to gain permission to fix Lakeside and Wharf Road, which is a class 6, to use it for ATV, UTV use. Former select board member Howard Hatch asked Mark to look at using Morse Road completely other than Tewksbury Road. And I'll look at that, see if it's feasible, which I haven't done yet. New Hampshire ATV Club, their annual ride was April 26th. They usually park at the open parking area and sell. They will maybe stopping at Mikey's for lunch. Usually they have 50 to 60 machines. May 3rd, the Bath School hosted a walkathon on the rail trail. They put up signs, but asked us to get the word out that they would be walking there. May 7th is Haverhill Community Night. We handed out stickers and other informational items. May 24th is the Lisbon Lilac Festival Parade. The theme is Once Upon a Lilac. We're going to use the says we'll use the tractor trailer for a float or decorated side by side. Made a motion to budget $300 to cover donation costs of candy. Tom seconded, all in favor. Looking for people to ride behind us in the parade if they would like to. That's again, that's the 24th, and lineup was 10, I believe.
What's that location?
Where? I will make a comment that's not here though. The trail is open that day. Augie's Trail will be open for you guys to get there from Mountain Lakes. You can come down on the trail and skip over if you want to ride behind. And we provide candy if you want to bring your own, fine, whatever, but.
It's basically 10 o'clock at the waterfront.
Yeah, well, what I usually do is I try to park one spot out, so that way all of us can fill in the backside, and that way we just pull out and we follow us. So October 4th is the poker run. It says hopefully not the same day as the car event, budget to be determined. Ken provided update on Morse Road, power line people have fixed it, so it's like a natural highway. I still would like to fill in the holes, if we actually have permission, so we can use that to get to Max's property 2 ways. So Marianne, we discussed RTP grant and other questions. We're looking at replacing 10 gates the first year, starting at the Littleton end, doing 10 in a row. Marianne says it would be helpful, they have the need for the evaluation map, so only a small distance need to be covered. The cost estimate per gate is $32.61 installed, which will be installed by the vendor, not sure who's pulling out the old gates. That all changed. Steel from the old gates, if the steel gate is worth anything, it may be a discount for whoever pulls them. Clint talked about taking the concrete and the gate out in one piece and reuse it somewhere else. If they're not painted, the 20% match can go for labor and such as painting for the RTP side. Does the club have the match? For materials, no, but for labor, delivery, equipment purchases, Chief gives the club an in-place price, which includes basically selling it, delivering it, spreading it, rolling it on. There will be some grading on the trail before they spread the gravel. Marianne mentioned that north of Bath Covered Bridge across, water pouring off Railroad Street across the trail quite deep. And it's a good time to fix it, which that will be just, he's actually started that this week. Hopefully he's already by that and fixed it. Is the grant need a reimbursement grant? Yes, but you ask the state for a cash advance, provide the invoice, and they give you 75% back. You write that check, pay the invoice, send the canceled check back to the state, and they send you the remaining 25%. But it's definitely not a quick process. RTP is reimbursement only. Nova can float us a short-term loan through Mascoma Bank. Marianne brought up the question, are the gates considered material? And they said I would ask, and I think it would be 100%. I'll answer that question now. The gates are considered material at 100%. It was asked if the ATV club was a 501c3. It is a 501c7. Marianne was looking for a copy of the bylaws, and so are we still. I can give the one that was given to Nova, but that was very outdated. And Matt suggested reviewing and updating the next meeting before providing. I still have not got the draft done for that, so we'll have to table that for this one, but we'll do it in June. Marianne would like an older GIA application for reference, and I'll provide it, which I haven't yet, but will. Do we have evaluation maps for the quarter? And Clint should have that, but don't know for sure. Matt has a map with all the gates on it, and that will help Marianne to figure out where we were for the RTP stuff. And Marianne asked if anyone's interested in the evaluation maps to let her know, and she goes out on the trail, take pictures, gathered info, etc., and enters it to the ARC GIS mapping system. Reasons for changing gates need to be make for a compelling request. Some are age, rusted, bent, leaning, or skew, possibly making them wider for accommodate larger vehicles, which is a quick question. Next year, Marianne would like to attend the grant aid meeting in Lancaster. Scott Simon, on a side note, was called to a meeting with some Bath landowners a couple months ago. Lots of issues on the power lines because it's a super highway now. Fishing game have been writing tickets. The landowner in Bath are trying to put up gates and signs and get the power company to help out. He knows it's going to be an issue all over, especially in Littleton. Several landowners are very concerned. Nothing to do with the club, but the club's name is out there. The side-by-side was purchased. The 2019 Ranger 570. Does have 6 seats and a dump body. Scott mentioned there's a 40-foot hole, a mud hole in Hammerland. Matt was going to get with Eric to see if it's been fixed. We'd also like to finish some signage up in there so people know where they're going. Future improvements, wish lists, and permissions for that area were also discussed. Mountain Lakes, when we get over that way, after we get Morse Road figured out, we need, maps, signs and all that. We've already opened the trails anyway, but we'll need more of that before we open it to more than just the locals. And then some of Mountain Lakes roads will be signed local traffic only. That way, we're trying to not make any more endings than we had. The billet board and sign, Tom, made us a, well, sorry, I didn't make this right. Tom, is working on building a replacement for a, bullet board sign in Littleton to be shared with the snowmobile club. And you just need to give me a list of what you need, we'll fix it. You added the hinge door to the bulletin board, sign and Augie's, and it's much easier to post info and bulletins there. Next meeting is tonight, and we adjourn that meeting at 8:30. That was a lot.
It was.
Any questions on anything that I read? Any comment? I'd take a motion to accept as read.
Second.
Any opposed? We'll just do it that way. Okay, perfect. Anything you need, Christine?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay,
I saw another spelling error. There was a lot of them in there.
that's why I said that's red. Did you hear it? That's why I said red. Treasurer's report. I can go, so balance as of April 8th was 22,153, which was the last meeting. Total bills, they're, are 2,324.16, they're itemized, if anybody would like to see any of them. Deposit was $1,003, excuse me, 98 cents. So our ending balance is 20,833.40. Would anyone like me to read the itemized list?
No.
Okay, that being said. Trail Masters report. I'll wing it. I went out and toured the loops. Couple days before New Hampshire ATV came down to ride. Salmon Hole Loop was in good shape, other than it needs to be, the corners need to be pushed in. So I actually opened that one, a couple days after. Sorry, Salmon Hole Loop's fine. John Elliott Junior Loop, we lost about 50, 60 yards of trail to the river. I made a reroute and shortly after opened that one. So those are actually both opened long before the season. The John Elliott Junior Loop continues to have a nice mud hole before you get into it. Yep.
There's a Sunday, it was pretty deep.
Yep. We're actually, I'm working with a power company in Littleton at the moment. The material that's right beside, that they put in right beside Fisher Auto that goes up the hill, that's a wetland, and it all has to come out and go somewhere. So we're trying to work with them to let me stockpile like 10, I don't need that all of it, don't get me wrong, but stockpile 10 or 15 loads on Schofield's down where we already have some now.
Yeah.
I hate to do it this way, but bucket it from there to the hole to get rid of some of the mud, just to make it more. The reason that mud hole is there is that's actually below the water table. So that those loops originally were a sand pit,
Right.
and they took out more material than, they took up too much, basically. And then they walked away from it, and basically they took it back the town took it back for a tax sale. So, but that's hardly even that good. I did take the side by side out a couple, 3 times to check things. First time I went south. We've, I actually rode with the New Hampshire ATV guys a little bit. I had some stragglers that had to go back and change tires because I couldn't fit through the gates at 69 or 70 inches. So I just waited with them and then, I actually filmed those guys coming back through, where were we? Where basically the water in Bath, where that water spigot comes off the hill. I was sitting on in the parking, gentleman's driveway, and I filmed about 4 minutes of ATVs coming through. They were pretty extensive.
You're talking to dealing with power line companies, has there been either any complaints or any progress through the Haverhill portion up towards Morse Road and so forth with them?
I have called them and the person hasn't called me back yet, because I was trying to see about permission. How I can get permission either from the landowner itself, or see if I can get permission through their right of way. If I can get permission through their right of way, that'd be the way to do it.
Because we've got a couple, actually now it's 3 access points coming off on Circle to get up to.
Yeah.
The south one, if for people that don't want to get muddy or wet, is real nice. It breezes right through.
Right.
The other 2 are a little bit aggressive, so if people want to be aggressive, they can go there. So it's real nice because it's a multitude of levels.
Right.
But when I went through there, I haven't been up there yet, but when I went through in the winter, they had blocked it.
Right.
With the timbers, so I'm hoping that they might have put those timbers back.
Right. Like I said, I still gotta get with them and, I was hoping to try to touch base with them today, but it didn't work out.
And then the extension of where Morse Road turns into Tewksbury, are we looking to try and,
I have to ride that. Last time we started that on the lower end of that, first off, it goes through a crossing for, I think it's Page, but I'm not positive. The farmer's fields on both sides.
right,
He doesn't have a fence there, but he's just worried about. Well, I think he did have a fence up, but it wasn't locked. He's worried about somebody opening the fence, going through and leaving it open.
okay,
That was years ago when we first opened the road.
right. That's not turning it
Yeah,
to
don't-
go straight.
Go straight. And then where that road actually comes out is right at the top of Briar Hill.
Yeah, because that's the snowmobile trail, we ride that all the time.
The thing is that I see even just from the end of the Briar Hill side, there's a lot of trees in that are blown over into the trail, that we'd have to clear that first.
That's right, we can do that.
But when I was up further, somebody had made a house and it looks like when he upgraded that section to go to his house, he never tapered that.
Yeah.
So it's like a large drop off. So we have to figure that out too.
But we
Which
can
is good.
just get the permission, then from there we can work it.
Well, the permission's there from the town.
Go down on Morse Road,
Yeah, well, Morse Road is open. That class 6 road for Morse is open all the way through. Call it Lakeside Drive, all the way down.
right, but then when you get to Tewksbury, where we turn right on Tewksbury,
Yeah.
or Briar Hill, we haven't been able to go straight.
So that's opened by the town way back when we first opened those two class 6 roads, those are both open.
So technically, we don't have to turn at Tewksbury?
We do because we never went any further.
Right,
You could, at any point, the snowmobile, the ATV club could close Tewksbury Road to ATVs
right.
and continue it down Morris further down.
So right now, instead of turning on Tewksbury, can we go straight? Because it's always been posted, no entry.
I posted it that way because I had never made it through there.
Okay,
Ken and I, when we first opened that, Ken took me in his side by side for a while. Took me down there, like I say, I'm pretty sure that's got a pretty good drop off at
okay.
that.
So there's no problem if we wanted to go down there.
If we want to go down and clear it and upgrade it and whatever we gotta do, and like I say, we could also, The reason I never put specific data for Morse Road,
Right,
if it's approved, it's $10,000 to improve that road.
right,
And that's still on Morse Road, that's
Right.
part of it. So upgrade the quote unquote bad section,
okay.
and then the newer, what we wanna use, we can use that there as well.
All right, maybe I'll get together with Ken, we'll take a ride down there. and
Like I
just
said, the only thing I remember was the drop off at that driveway.
Okay,
And then, of course, you can see the trees together, and trees are no big deal.
yeah, okay,
Trees cut very easy.
okay. And then the other end, the northern end of
Rear,
what's coming off the lakeside, you're planning on that soon?
yes, well, as soon as there's funding for it, we'll
Okay.
get that in there.
All right, if you can give a little bit of notice on that, then we can line up a bunch of people to show up.
Yeah, like I say, we'll have to figure out how to do it, when,
Yeah.
how to get there. Cause that one, you can't send a dump truck.
No.
So you're gonna have to,
Tractors.
yeah, a couple tractors. maybe-
Buckets.
Yeah, and we put in for the ATV trailer too as well.
Mhm.
So pull that up there, kind of get it up inside, dump,
Good.
shove it in, go further.
Right, and we're gonna also do an inventory all through Max's and see, last winter, it took us days
Mhm.
to clear that up. So
I remember
we're doing
that.
inventory up there, so we haven't done it there
You still have a puddle?
yet. Yeah, it's pretty big, so.
Yeah, well, Hammerland still has that 40
Yeah.
foot, 40 foot. It's probably 20 feet wide by like 40
Right.
long, and I can't tell where the bottom is.
That's just it, yeah, and I don't know how big this was, so I may take a ride up there tomorrow and see what I can sort of.
So, so we've opened those two up,
Is there anything with Mountain Lakes now, I've been hearing mixed reports, is you've opened to Max's. Can we legitimately go out into Mountain Lakes from Max's? Like over by the old skiway, or does Mountain Lakes not want us?
I'm not sure on that thing.
That's what's-
It's up, it's Mountain, I know they opened up, when we opened it, they opened up Mountain Lakes roads.
Right,
I don't know if that continues to follow a road across that,
right,
because it's across a ski hill.
right, exactly. Okay,
Like I
okay,
say, we'll check with Ken.
Yeah.
And
I'll get together with them.
we'll know, and like I said, we'll have, once we do get over in there, I want more than locals and
Mhm,
specifics. That it's open,
mhm.
we'll have to really sign that, cause I
Yeah.
don't wanna make Max upset with somebody being there.
Absolutely.
Supposed to.
Yeah, we've been super good with him, and he's been
Mhm.
super good with everybody else.
And then once we do open it there, Ken's got 2 or 3 more landowners.
Right.
That are saying, come on over, right?
Yeah, because Ken was saying to the east, beyond Max's,
Mhm.
they're ready to sign on. And then last year, I know there was talk of the woman that's on Frenchman Road to the south of Max's,
Mhm.
that she was interested. But we never really get her on board, or,
As long as it touches Max's property or Mountain Lakes, Mountain Lakes Road is open.
I believe she's adjacent to Max.
So it'll just come off of Max's and
Right.
hers, not into the road, and we'll
Right.
just go from there.
Right,
Even if we made a loop the first year, so
Right.
it's out there,
exactly.
she can try it, if it doesn't like it.
Well, that's section of Frenchman Road is legal anyways.
Right. What I'm saying is if it's, you can either make it off of French Pond Road, we can make it off of Max's.
Right, or both. Yeah.
That way, if Max's says, okay,
Yeah.
you guys can't ride up here
Yeah.
anymore, or she does,
Yeah,
we could shut it off.
yeah, it just adds more rent. Okay, I'll talk to Ken on that also. Good.
So other than that, we put up, at the request of the fishing game, we put up closed signs on the Littleton end. There's a little short section that, again, was bought with wheeled vehicle money or non-wheeled vehicle money, quote unquote DOT money. We had to close that, town of Littleton lets you ride on the road. We don't have one to show, but, so we put up signs and prohibited signs on the other end. There is a whole, where did we find that, Joe?
That single,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's it.
You found the
That's a
plastic
blue
bag?
stake, yeah,
Yeah, so you saw it after I saw it.
yeah,
So the blue stake was what I had left on the side by side to make it more visible.
yeah, there was
Actually, I
a,
thought about it.
there was a tree branch stuck in before.
Yeah, I just stuck the the blue bag around it, could make it a little more visible. Hopefully, it only gonna take like 2 or 3 buckets, 5-gallon pails.
Yeah, it's not very deep.
It looks really, really deep, but it's not.
Yeah, that's.
Is there any chance of going along and through Bath and Lisbon of ever getting into any of those snowmobile trails for ATVs, or is that pretty much a done deal? It's just-
We can try to,
Cause there's some nice trails. there.
the only reason we really haven't is, as you know, it's people.
I know,
Uh,
here's the worst that people can do is say no, but man,
Yeah.
that would just, that corridor grows old after a while. If there's some offshoots on that corridor, it would be,
Well, that's why, so we're also, so we've got the loops in Lisbon. In that area, a little bit south of that, I call it the antique house. I think I told you about that.
yeah, there's like 40 acres or something.
Yeah, there's 400 up in there.
400 acres.
Yeah, not sure where the sale part is, or who actually owns it. The way it's written, one person owns it, but the other person is leasing it until such time that I think there's payments on it or whatever.
Mhm.
When he died, when the person passes away, then the land becomes the other person's. But he wants a payment for it, so he has an income base.
So until then, we can't use.
I haven't got that far.
Mhm.
So, but,
I think
and
it's
it's,
just-
like I said, just don't know who actually owns it.
Because if we can get some of these trails that are off the corridor,
Yeah.
you're gonna start getting a lot more people coming in to utilize that.
Yeah, so, soon as you get away from the gates,
Yeah,
so.
excellent, super, that's great.
That being said, we're even riding with the stock, side by side, it's 65 inches, it's 64 inches wide. I hit gates every time. That one, the one at Streeter Pond, it's a good thing that I have somebody riding with me, you get a bull bear,
Yeah, yeah,
and we're gonna try to address those. We've actually talked, Matt and I have talked about the bottom's fine, but either the trail itself is askew, so it changes you up and down,
right.
or the top is in one way or the other.
All you need is just a little bit of lean,
Yeah,
and they're gonna.
so, I actually watched, it's the third machine in my video. He bought it 2 days before, so he can come ride. First off, it's a Can-Am Commander. It looks like a full-size Jeep with doors and, yeah,
25 grand or something.
at least. Was very, very legal. It had nothing, bone stock legal.
Right,
Has a gash in his door, that front door. And that's about this high up.
that hurt.
And I stopped and talked to him, he's like. I said, oh, because I saw the dent, he's like, oh, he's like. It's an ATV, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah.
At least he had the right attitude. But
Well, the first one's always the first, so.
anyway, so, and like I say, we're gonna try to address all of that.
Yeah, that'd be
I
good.
mean, if my stock machine is hitting,
Yeah. And they're only getting bigger, so.
yeah, they're gonna leave the bottom at 67 inches as it
Yeah.
is. It's. Let's try to get the bottom of it flat, let's try to get the top of it so it's pitched down a couple of more inches.
Yes, just at least let it angle here, so.
Yeah,
Because the
so-
tires, what
But
everybody cares about is the
Yeah.
width there, after that, let it go out.
I'd like to make it about this tall,
Yeah,
so you gotta go through it. In other words, you can't go over it, don't get me wrong.
yeah,
I'd like to, but everything else is, it only says that machine has to be, it's. On the top, its stance has to be
right, right,
50, it's
tire to tire.
65 inches,
Yeah.
65 inches.
The only thing is to make it short like that. Winter time, you're making a hazard.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, not short.
Right.
I mean, the one, which one is that? the one I keep having you pull the mirror in.
Mhm.
But anyway, there's one that you come up to it and you're literally, the pole is
Yeah.
high. And then you're off center.
Right.
So your mirror hit, or actually you're off center this way, so your mirror on the passenger side, you either push it into the
Yeah.
pole or your sheet will get in.
Yeah,
So,
Is it the one down there by the fire? The crossing to the gate by the fire?
no, it's in town somewhere. Yeah. I just.
Yeah.
We're gonna wind up riding one nice day and she's gonna have a clipboard. Okay, this is where.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I had for Trail Masters Report. I haven't really done much other than open loops, and if it keeps ringing, I might have to close some of it.
and there's no issue right now. If we're going out, either up to Morse Road or Max's or anything
No,
else.
just send me a text message or when you head out, doesn't,
Okay,
just send me a text message that way, because Nick is gonna call me first,
yeah.
which you found out last year.
Yeah.
He's gonna call me first and,
And you'll just say it's working.
yep, hey, they're out there working on.
Yeah, because before things actually open, I really wanted to get up there with Ken, really.
Yeah, so Max Moulton's side is fine. Mountain Lakes Road is where the issue is,
Mhm.
because Max, yes, it's closed, but it's not any government entity.
Right,
So
Yeah.
That's the easy part.
Yeah.
To just get there.
Yeah.
So,
okay, sounds good.
so. Any questions on anything that I didn't cover? Other than I gotta fix the hole.
If we end up, I know that the good bypass we made, which would be the south end one,
Mhm.
coming off the Pond Circle to go up the bottom of the slope. I know we have a bunch of the 3 and 4 inch stone,
Mhm.
but that stuff doesn't go far, so I'll let you know,
Mhm.
give you a heads up, and then we can just get chief to come drop a bunch or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because some of these mud spots, we really gotta get some, we may even do a little bit of that at Max, you know. We don't wanna make anything look like a highway, there's a lot of people that like mud and
That's,
they're ATVs.
that's what the way I describe Hammerland is anything that you would not see on a rail trail.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So.
Okay, I'll give you the heads up.
Yeah, we can, and if he's pulling it with his dump trailer, it's
Yeah.
even easier.
Yeah.
So, unless you want a whole bunch at once,
Yeah,
so. Or you wanna put it on the road and you wanna spread it easily, that's the way to do that. Like one big thing, you wanna drive down. And you put your tractor on top of it,
Yeah.
it's all done. Yeah, it's like 7 or 8 loads, you got a whole road done.
exactly.
But, so old business, we'll move on to business. The flail mower, we're gonna purchase it outright. We found out that we can't put a trailer in, over the road trailer that is for the tractor in under grant aid. So the trailer is about the same money as the flail mower was, which is the flail mower's money is already approved. So we would, at that point, if they approve the flail mower grant aid, purchase the flail mower with grant aid money. And purchase the trailer with the earmarked flail mower money to get the body issue. Your 601 doesn't know.
Yeah.
So that's where we are on that. We still need to sell the older 6-wheeler. It's now at Matt's house, we're gonna go through it and figure out the running issue, running card, just doesn't run forever. Old business again was the Hampshire ATV ride, I worked with those guys, I talked about that already. Haverhill Community Night was pretty good. We gave out a whole bunch of stickers, some tattoos, pamphlets and things. What do we have, about 60 people? Thereabouts.
Okay.
It was good, there was quite a few people.
Yeah.
So, again, old business, Lilac Festival Parade is the 24th. The theme is Once Upon a Lilac. We decided we're only gonna take the side by side and decorate that. We have a large storybook made from cardboard and making a castle. putting it back. The storybook will be on the front. They actually just showed up today, 4 bags of Dum Dum Pops, toss out to the kids, so there should be plenty. What was it, 2 years ago or last year, we had like an entire tote of candy left over.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys-
I got a lot last year,
Yeah, we bought like
but
3 times.
not as much this year, but there's still. a
It's still
good
good.
amount.
And you guys are throwing a lot,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like handfuls. Yeah,
there's a lot of candy.
Old business again, trail resurfacing, they started it Monday and they're headed from the Bath Bridge area north to. Hopefully all the way to the Trestle Bridge. If they don't make it that far, they'll stop and we'll continue it next year. If they do make it that far, we're just gonna start on the opposite side of the bridge and continue to go.
Can I throw in something there? If it's a short distance to finish it to the bridge,
Yeah.
the Cross New Hampshire could throw in a little bit of extra money to bring it that way, if that would work.
I think we would do it that way anyway. I'm just thinking if it's a long ways, we'll figure it out. But,
Okay, well, let me know, okay, because I'll help with that. That's something I can, help out with.
We did put, it's on new business in a minute, but we did put in for 800 yards of more for Grant and Aid this year. I think we did 1,500 yards last year. So I'm sure Chief wouldn't care that he put it down now and got paid for it later,
Mhm.
quote unquote. And if he waits long enough, another 2 weeks, it's that grant period retroactive back to June 1st. So we're right here close and it won't matter one way or the other.
Okay, good, okay, well, just, just keep me in mind. Please don't hesitate.
And I appreciate that offer, just so you know, I will keep that under advisement.
Yeah, and as far as, since you're mentioning that bridge, how is the decking on that bridge?
When we went to Lancaster, we did not talk about that, in here. When we went to Lancaster, that bridge is slated to be redecked this summer sometime by Clint and his people.
Okay, good, because I know there, especially when you get on the bridge heading north, it's really bad, and I just figured it's probably not any better right now.
Stay, as you're headed north, stay to your right. About 2 feet off of the side rail. And that is all, you're right on the cement, not cement, you're right on the iron beam anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna fall in, but it
Okay.
does, it is a little funky in spots. Now, the same thing coming south, if you're, most of your people don't ride south anyway. They always pretty much ride north.
Mhm.
But about 2 feet, 3 feet off of the right-hand side. So if you line up you'll see it basically where the bridge is. The metal part of the bridge is all good. That's
Okay,
all stationary. It's
yeah, so you're not gonna go in.
I've been across it anyway, I walked it, you're not gonna fall in. You may feel like it's not a very fun trip for a second.
It's an adventure.
I have walked it, I've stood on one foot and jumped on the boards that I didn't like, and I did not fall in. I'm kind of a portly guy, not so much as it was, but, yes, but anyway.
Good, okay, that's great, thank you.
So, continuing on old business, we started to do RTP with Mary Ann, and we appreciate your offer to do RTP. And we decided that since the material was, the gate material was 100% covered by grant and aid, that there was no sense going through RTP, and decided to only do it grant and aid.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I really appreciate not having to do it. I just finished my own, and oh my gosh, it's always
That's why
longer than you think.
Right, and that's why as soon as we realized that we're not gonna do this, I sent you that email like, no, never mind, we're gonna skip it for now.
Right,
So-
and the only thing I had done, and I'm not sure if you need this for grant and aid, I did that NHB data check, for the RTP, you have to have a data check on the project to see if there's any endangered species, endangered plants, and all that stuff. And I had done that, so I have the documents, and if
Okay.
you need it for some reason, I think they're good for a year.
Okay. that would be good. I know there was something, I was talking to Scott about it, Scott Simons. There's something to do with they had to stop in April, one of their projects in April. Because they were worried about the bats they had found some bats in the area. And they figured they were in hibernation and they had to stop in April.
Right,
And then they could resume, and I think it was November.
November, yeah, which is kind of late to start a project, you know?
Yeah,
But
so,
if it's a federal grant, I think that's the case, but I think if you do the GIA, you don't have to deal with that. Is that correct?
no, there is none of that. But yeah, we can get through it.
Okay, good. All right, well, again, that offer stands that if you do want some help with it next year, if you think about something,
Yep.
I'm very willing to help out.
Right, but I didn't want to put it all on your shoulders either at the same time.
Well, I do appreciate it because
Um,
working on, oh my gosh, I just filed mine today, got rid of it, and it's like a big relief. So, so thank you for for thinking otherwise this year.
Yeah, so, and then the only other old business I have is the grant aid papers were dropped off. I hand delivered them because I can't trust the mail system. So, and we usually, drop them off a couple days ahead of time, and the same thing happened with them. I didn't have a couple items that they wanted. So what happens is if you don't have what they want for each one, whatever you don't have, that grant is removed from your list. So that's why we do it a couple days ahead of time. Everything that they want can always be electronically done, but you have to do the first initial in hand. So,
You seem to be doing quite well as always, getting.
just gotta look real quick and grab an email. So I'm just getting here quickly. So the adjusted, because I had a couple things that were incorrect in there, the adjusted GIA award, if awarded, I should say. For everything, which includes a $10,000, there's $10,000 for, what they call winter damage, like the bathroom blew out last year. We went through that, we actually gave the state 10,000, they had to spend 5. But the money was there. There's calcium chloride in it, there is a couple different projects with gravel and things, and the gates are in there. So the grant aid amount, if we're awarded that, is $132,115.60. So,
Oh my
Wow,
God.
that's great, because the RTP, the max is 100,000. So
yeah,
you do better with the GIA and not as
Right.
much match required either.
so as I said, so all the gravel that we put down, the gates this year, the calcium chloride, all of that is 100%. So I don't like to say it this way because it's not, it's free money, but it's not.
Mhm.
All of the money comes from the registrations from machines.
Right.
No gas, taxes, anything, it's all registration, so the people that are registering their machines are paying the club
Right.
to keep them. So,
Yeah.
Do you plan on, how much of that 132 do you think you're gonna go through? You hoping to use it?
I wanna use it all, except for possibly $10,000. Which is fingers crossed that I don't have to use it.
Okay.
So if I don't use that $10,000, that goes back to the states.
Right.
It only goes back to Trails Bureau. It never leaves the.
Right. Right. Defense.
Hopefully we use it all.
I'll do what I can to help you.
I know you will. So new business, basically, there, as everybody said, there's a pothole north of Stringer Pond Road. It's almost up into Lisbon. It's gonna stick about that deep in it. Hopefully within, I'll call it next weekend, that pothole will be fixed. Just get time when it's, number one, it's not raining, and number two, time in the day. And then Fish and Game called for the signs we talked about on the Littleton end. Not much else other than that, but I'm for new business.
So those trees, kiosks that I'm making, do you want any made for up in the Mountain Lakes area?
True story, and we had it as a parking area, but
I mean, even if we're not using the parking, because they're gonna, the ones that that I'm making for that, except for the one in Littleton, they're about 2.5 by 2.5. So they're small enough where they'll be not as an eyesore, but still information
we
based.
could put that. Yeah, if you wanna make one more of those.
Okay.
Did I ever wind up giving you 4x4s or didn't?
Oh, man, yeah,
I never remembered to ask him that next morning.
he called me, as if they were behind school stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we have more.
Yeah, he said if I need them, just give him a shout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get a couple more off him and then, yeah, I'll make another one for that area.
So I should just show you where Matt's house is, so you can just go right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had for now, other than for new business. Any questions? Marianne, did you have any questions?
Well, I guess I usually try to help out with some trash pickup and I have not yet done that this year. I've had a number of projects over on this side, but, I will get out there and do some trash pickup.
We're planning on trying to get some of that done as well as far as a work party. I do have, blue town bags, as I call them. Well, they're state bags, actually.
Mhm.
If you get down here, if you just, do you go back through Littleton?
Yeah,
So across from Home Depot is Fisher Auto, used to be, used to have, tire warehouses, the same building, you know where I am? In Littleton, right on 302.
yeah, I can't pick that out right now where it is, but,
Well, yeah, so right near Home Depot, it's across the road from Home Depot.
mm-hmm,
There, well, Staples is there.
oh, yeah, okay.
We'll keep coming up this way.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be St. Tire Warehouse, it doesn't anymore, but Fisher Auto's there. If you just stop at that building, I can take care of all your any trash that you have if you want.
Oh, really? Okay, great. That's good. That's helpful.
Or if you just tie up the bags and let me know you've done it and leave it right beside the blue bag beside the trail, I'll take care
Right,
of it.
okay. Do you know of any particular places that are, I mean, we know the regular ones, but are there any spots you've noticed that need attention?
I haven't on the north end so much. I,
It started a little, Lisbon through Lisbon, it's pretty bad. We did a big pickup Sunday.
yeah.
Where was
Uh,
that?
Just basically the Lisbon corridor. It just seems like everybody just tosses their stuff in. And it's,
Yes.
Down.
So if you just, I mean, are you gonna ride your bike and just goes for a stroll or what? You
Well,
looking?
usually I just park somewhere and walk it.
So if you're gonna walk it, just park at the Lisbon parking lot
Mm-hmm.
and then walk south. You'll find plenty.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's a bad area in there.
Basically towards the tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so, and if you get to the tunnel, you're done just fine.
Yeah,
So-
okay. I won't be
just-
able to get in there until right, like the 30th of May. I'm
Right,
gonna be
yep.
away. I got crazy stuff, but after that, I'm gonna be able to be free and I'll be able to go out there.
Just send me an email or whatever, let me know you've done it, and, you should be able to find plenty.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be, lacking for trash, so, okay, good.
So yeah, just whatever you find, just leave it and we'll, and the club will pick it up and dispose of it, so.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Joe and I did a little bit at the, what I call the big tunnel in North Haven Road, Woodsville. And 95% of that is somebody tossing it off the upper side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and then don't forget the Shaw's area.
well, the Shaw's area, is gonna see if somebody
Oh,
else,
that, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get ahold of Steve Robbins, cause he plows
Go
it,
ahead.
so. I hate to name him, but.
Yeah,
I guess the other question I have for you is, we've had that new surface there, behind the, DCI plant and a few other spots for 2.5 years now. Have you noticed any deterioration? As I haven't been over there, much this spring. Is
I
it still
haven't-
good?
Seems to be pretty good. I haven't had a bump in that area for quite a while. I noticed DCI is and I don't think it's where we did the surfacing. They have a skid steer that they're moving something and it's pretty muddy there and it would be really muddy for you guys. So I have to call them out on it, say, hey, I don't care if you go across it, but you gotta get rid of the mud when you guys get done.
yeah,
Yeah,
And I know it's muddy, don't get me wrong, but for somebody on a bike going up through there is definitely not fun. And even motorcycle, it's.
Yeah.
That was
it's a
where.
mess, yeah. I think there's been issues there in the past when they've been doing construction, they're doing back and forth, and I think Clint got after them at one
Yeah,
point.
I think that's what happened with it, like, not tell anybody that, I'll call Clint and say, hey, this needs to be addressed.
Okay, good. All right, that's it for me.
Other than that, like I say, we just going along waiting for funding for the rest for stuff.
excellent, good
It's,
job.
it's a hurry up and then we gotta wait.
Yeah,
So just so everybody knows before I forget, even though it's down there, we'll be told, they have a meeting on it on the 28th, I believe, of May. About that, and the awarding is done at the same time. The money is there, but it's the governor's council that has to vote to fund what they say. We've never been non-funded. It takes some time until the middle of July to the first part of August to actually be funded. But it is all retroactive back to June 1st.
Okay.
The issue is if you spend that money and they don't fund it, you don't
then
get
you're
it.
out of pocket, yeah.
Yes, which we've usually just sat
Right,
and waited on.
but you still have,
There's still plenty of money.
you still have money in the kitty from last year,
Mhm.
so you could conceivably be doing a bunch and not be out of pocket.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, there's some money for Max's that's there. They're putting down, and I can stop at any point, they're putting down that 90,000 now. And then, like I say, if they run a little short, we'll just.
Yeah.
Chief has always been good.
yeah, yeah, the beginning, the whole entrance to Max's still looks real good and solid.
Mhm.
It's just when you go over that first hump,
Yeah,
that
down there.
depression is literally a pond right now, and
No, we'll get rid of it.
yeah, we see, I mean, I think we just gotta let it dry out. I mean, you'd have to have multiple dump trucks
To fill the pond.
to try and fill that, so just bring it there, but still pull that
Okay, sounds good.
out. Okay,
I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn
Okay.
at 7:58.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I'll have Matt upload that as soon as I can find him. I'm sure he had people tonight.
Say that again. Can you say that again?
Yeah, Christine needs the, recording. So I'll have Matt upload the recording so she can see it.
And then I'll hound him when he forgets.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Good night.
Okay.